So let's go ahead and look at a purchase order process within NetSuite. So if I open up my recent records and I'll click on my most recent purchase order here. This is a purchase order that I set up previously, and you can see that the vendor is Frozen Food Wholesalers. I've got some relevant information here. I'm actually ordering a SKU chicken cordon bleu for a quantity of 10 at a specific rate at $85.20 here. I've got an expected receipt date, expected promise date, etc., over here. And then under the billing information, I've got all the standard kind of additional attributes associated with a purchase order, the vendor information, the shipping address over here is going to our San Mateo location, all of the relevant information that we need to have on a purchase order. There is also the concept of purchase order approval. So as a purchase order is entered, if you wanted to go ahead and approve purchase orders, you could set up NetSuite to have a quite robust purchase order approval process. It could be linear, it could be by department, whatever it may be. But you could also have things like thresholds involved in those purchase orders. Now, once a purchase order is created here, you do have the ability to automatically send this within NetSuite. So you have the ability to email this purchase order directly to a vendor by hovering over or selecting the save an email, but also under the communication tab, you can automatically set this toggle to email, and the purchase order will be sent out to the vendor. And under the activities, you'll see a history, an audit trail of that email actually going out. Now, we've got a purchase order here, 2876. Let's say it's gone out to our vendor, and we are now expecting receipt of that particular product. Now, the warehouse operation would be as such. As the goods arrive at the dock, we can open up the pallets or the package or whatever it may be. We should have a packing list with a PO number. I could go ahead and enter that PO number at the top over here. Alternatively, I can use my actionable items, my reminders over here, to actually say, click on the orders to receive. And this is going to show me a list of all the transfer orders, all the purchase orders that are actually open here for that particular individual within the warehouse. So I can go ahead and order by date as an example, and here's my transaction set right here. I could drill into that by simply clicking the button. Alternatively, I can go ahead and hit receive. So I can receive from directly from that, and it's going to open up the item receipt transaction for me. And here I can go ahead and enter all the relevant information that I need. So you can see here I'm going to receive. If I wanted to receive a partial, I could just go ahead and enter a different quantity here. That would leave the purchase order open for the delta. I could also go ahead and enter inventory detail. Now, if you've got some specific lot numbers or batch numbers, which is important within the food and bev industry, I could enter that here. But also you could do things like QA if you wanted to test any of the, or if you wanted to go through any QA type processes, you could go ahead and do that right here. So from here, I'll go ahead and save that transaction. Now, at some point, my accounting department will receive a bill for this particular purchase order. On the bill, the AP bill, I should have a PO number, and I can go ahead and simply use my global search at the top here to type in the PO number. And there it is there. I can click on that. And you'll notice that the status of the purchase order is now pending bill. If I scroll down to my related records against this, you'll see here's the item receipt that I just created. Now from here, I can go ahead and click the bill button. So you can see here, I've now got the bill, and it's pre-populated the data from the purchase order. You can see the quantity, the rate, the SKU, etc. Now let's pretend we have a difference in rate on the bill. So instead of $8.52, let's just say it's $9.52. There's a delta of $1 here. Let's go ahead and hit OK and hit save. And what you notice is that the bill is in pending approval status. And the main reason for that is of the three-way match. Now NetSuite has three-way matching, which means the purchase order and the receipt quantity, the purchase order price, the receipt quantity must match the bill. And in this particular case, there's an exception. It says, well, there's a price difference or a total difference. I can go ahead and look at the bill exception, and it'll actually give me an overview. The bill amount exceeds the PO amount, right? It's telling me that there's an issue with this bill. Now, from a segregation of duty perspective, you could have an accounts payable clerk just go ahead and enter this. It goes through an approval queue, and at this point, you could actually call up the vendor, make the changes, whatever those may be, accepting the new price, getting a new bill, whatever it may be. But the point here is that NetSuite will manage the approval process to ensure that the bill matches the PO.